Have you ever opened a company's financial report and just felt lost? Well, today we're going to crack that code. We're going to turn those pages of confusing financial data into clear, simple insights that tell you what's really going on. Okay, picture this. You've got the annual report open, and you're just hit with this wall of text. Pages and pages of tables, charts, and figures. It honestly feels like you're drowning in a sea of numbers, and you have no idea what any of it means for how the company is actually doing.
And that's the big question, isn't it? I mean, you can see the revenue, you see the profit, you see the assets, but those are just numbers on a page. How do you really take the pulse of the business and figure out how healthy it is?
Well, the good news is the answer is in there. It's just hidden. Every single one of those numbers tells a piece of a bigger story. The real trick is learning how to make them talk to each other.
So let's get into the solution. The tool we use to translate that whole sea of numbers into a story that actually makes sense is called financial ratio analysis. This is the method that brings real clarity out of all that chaos.
And you know what's so great about this? It's not some secret information that only insiders have. The power here comes from using data that's already out there, just sitting in those financial statements. You just have to know what to do with it.
This really hits the nail on the head. Look, anyone can plug numbers into a calculator. The real skill, and what we're all about today, is understanding the meaning behind that final number. It's about interpretation, not just simple calculation.
Here's a great way to think about it. Financial ratios are basically a company's vital signs, right? Just like a doctor checks your heart rate, your blood pressure, your temperature to see how you're doing, an analyst uses ratios to check a company's financial health. Its profitability, its liquidity, things like that.
And this is where it gets really powerful. Ratio analysis has like three main superpowers. First, it lets you compare a tiny little startup to a huge corporation on a level playing field. Second, you can see how a company stacks up against its competitors. And third, you can track its own performance over time to see the whole journey.
And that last point, what we call trend analysis, is just so important. It helps you answer the big questions. Is this company getting more efficient? Is its debt load getting out of control? See, a single ratio is just a snapshot, but a series of ratios over time, that's the movie. It shows you exactly which way the company is heading.
Okay, theory is great, but let's make this feel a little more real. We're going to do a quick lightning round, dive into the analyst's toolkit, and look at a couple of the most common ratios you'll see.
All right, first up, the debt-to-equity ratio. This one is a classic for figuring out a company's risk level. You basically take its total debt and compare it to how much money the owners actually have in the business. It's asking a really simple question. Is this company funded more by lenders or by its owners? Now, this is absolutely crucial to understand. A ratio isn't just good or bad. A high ratio could mean a company is being really aggressive to grow fast. A low one might signal a more stable, conservative approach. Context is everything. What's considered normal for a tech company will be totally different for a big manufacturing firm.
Okay, next up, let's switch gears and look at the inventory turnover ratio. This one isn't about risk, it's all about efficiency. It answers a simple question. How quickly is this company selling all the stuff it makes or buys?
So if you look here, Company A turns over its inventory 10 times a year, while Company B only does it twice. That tells you Company A is moving its product way faster. But again, context matters, right? Super high turnover is essential for a grocery store, but it would be totally impossible for a business that sells, I don't know, luxury yachts.
So you see where this is going? No single ratio can tell you the whole story. The debt ratio gives you a clue about risk. The inventory ratio gives you a clue about efficiency. It's only when you start putting all these clues together that the real story begins to take shape.
And honestly, we've only just scratched the surface. The full toolkit is huge. There are ratios to answer pretty much any question you can think of. How easily can the company pay its bills right now? How much profit is it making on each sale? What kind of return are investors getting? Each one is a different tool for a different part of the puzzle. And this is the most important thing I want you to take away today. This stuff isn't some secret language just for financial pros on Wall Street. It's a logical way for anyone to make smarter decisions. But just remember, it's a tool, not a crystal ball. Ratios tell you about the past, and they can't capture everything like how good a company's leaders are. They are the starting point of your investigation, not the final answer.
So, the next time you're faced with that sea of numbers, don't get intimidated. You now have the tools to be a financial detective. The only real question left is, what story are those numbers telling you?